Last thing I'd want to do is be stuck for survival with Teddy McGiggle. What a douchebag. What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. Along with El Camino dropping on Netflix this morning, there are a few other movies that dropped on streaming services that I want to talk about, and the first one today is Little Monsters that just dropped on Hulu. If you haven't had the chance to see this, go check it out and let me know, did you enjoy it? And let's talk about it. So a washed-up musician teams up with a teacher and a kids show personality to protect young children from a sudden outbreak of zombies. This film was directed by Abe Forsyth and stars Lupita Nyong'o, Josh Gad, and Alexander England. A pretty stacked cast when you think about it, especially Lupita Nyong'o, who is one of my favorite actresses in the business right now. She is so wonderful and carries that charm over into this film beautifully. Josh Gad, not charm, that's not the word, but he did play his character to a T, did exactly what he was set up to do. But the big surprise for me was Alexander England, who I am not as familiar with, but you know what? He was very good in this movie, very likable character. He does have some issues with his character, absolutely, but he tries to overcome those as they help these kids survive this very small-scale zombie apocalypse. And let's face it, the zombie trope is a tired trope, one that they continue to use over and over, and unless you can bring me something different, and with good filmmaking, of course, but something a bit more obscure than what we're getting nowadays, bring a bit of humor into the zombie genre. That's one reason why I love a movie like Shaun of the Dead so much, one of my favorite movies of all time. And no slight against Walking Dead, but as soon as that show got extremely popular, they're like, ooh, zombies, that'll work. Let's do the same movie and television show over and over again. And it's tired. And while I didn't love this movie, I did enjoy elements of it quite a bit, and I had a bit of quirky fun with it. Now, if you're not into quirky fun, if you're not into, at points, over-the-top humor, especially Gad's character who just takes it to a whole nother level, then I don't know if you're going to love this. One thing that I noticed about this movie is normally, especially with a film like this, you're either going to get over-the-top humor or you're going to get subtle humor. I found a mixture of both, and not a mixture that frustrated me. Actually, one that I look back on and I'm like, I liked the balance, right? Over-the-top humor comes from Teddy McGiggle. That character is just consistently spurting out this crazy dialogue that you don't expect in what you would think is a kid's movie going in. But let me warn you, this is not a movie for young children. This is a movie for adults to enjoy, but at the same time, one that has this cuteness, this likability to it. It reminds me of how I felt about Kindergarten Cop, a completely different movie with a different premise, but that joy that I felt while watching Arnold try to take on all of these kids, you feel that same level of joy when you're trying to pull for the adults who are gathering all of these children in this zombie apocalypse situation, trying to calm them down, whether it's the use of music, whether it's the use of, hey kids, let's play a game, stay away from the zombies, without actually telling them it's zombies, because these are kids, they're young, they're kind of oblivious to what's happening, and there was a bit of unbelievability to how oblivious they were at times, because they're seeing things that they're just like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, if I was that age and I would have seen that, I would have been like, I think I should leave. And we do get a little bit of that, but for the most part, it's just the kids kind of following along with what the adults tell them to do. But that really does provide for the entertainment of the movie. I also, I liked the practical effects, right? They do incorporate small, very minor elements of CGI that maybe, isn't the best, but it's a low-budget movie. The filmmaking was solid. It has this level of heart to it that I don't think other movies in this genre, especially nowadays, they can carry and they can execute like this movie executed on. I'm not going to say this movie is perfect, because the balance of tone at times is one thing that I had an issue with, and it does include a few moments of not meaningless dialogue, but dialogue that wasn't as important to the story than what it should have been focusing on. When it works, it really works. It's a bit quirky, it's a bit over the top. If you don't love stuff like that, I wouldn't recommend watching this movie. Otherwise, I had a pretty good time with it. I was actually really surprised by Little Monsters. I saw the first trailer, I'm like, yeah, but it did execute on, I think, everything it needed to, and that's why I'm going 70% for Little Monsters, and it is on Hulu for you guys to check out right now. Hey, if you are a subscriber to this channel, and you also listen to my podcast over on the Schmoes Know podcast feed, we are currently doing a contest, so here are the rules. Need you guys to leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, then you can tweet at me at the Burkinator a screenshot of your review to enter for your chance to win a $30 Netflix gift card. That contest ends next Friday, so you guys have a week. Make sure you leave a review, check it out, and prove to me that you did it. That way you guys can be entered into the competition. So far, not a lot of entries, so you guys definitely go do that. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video, for watching this review, and I'll be back later on today with another Netflix review.